Hi everybody, I'm Ryan. Today we're going to talk about how to sideboard with red-green Ponza in Pauper. Now this is the deck I am currently grinding with in Pauper on Magic Online, and I think it is so cool. I rave about it and talk about the strategies of it and the card choices and all that stuff in my deck tech, which was posted yesterday if you're watching this video when it comes out, so you should check that out on my channel. But today we're going to talk about how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Pauper. Let's jump into it. Now, the most popular deck in Pauper is Burn. Against Burn, we are bringing in 4 Weather the Storms for very obvious reasons, right? We just need to survive as long as possible. This matchup's a little sketchy, to be totally real with you. We're bringing in Fiery Cannonade for the Kuldotha Rebirth strategy, and it can take out some other important stuff. And I'm also a fan of Flame Slash. It can deal with things like Goblin Blast Runner and Monastery Swiftspear. Now, I think the most important thing against this Burn deck is surviving, and actually I like getting off of the land destruction plan. I just want to be ramping as fast as possible, removing my opponent's stuff, and playing my big dumb idiots, and just outsizing my opponent. So I just cut all of my land destruction. Now, I understand against a deck with not a lot of lands, land destruction can be powerful, but if I'm casting these spells that don't actually add anything to the board, then I'm just going to die to Burn. So this is how I sideboard against Burn. The second most popular deck is the Grixis Affinity deck. Against Grixis Affinity, obviously, I am bringing in 4 Deglamer. The choose target artifact or enchantment as owner shuffles it into their library. This is great against mostly their lands we're using this against, especially since we can take out their indestructible lands with it. And then we're bringing in Cast Into the Fire for the same reason, because it's exile target artifact. We can take out their indestructible lands. And then Gorilla Shaman can destroy everything else. It is really cool when they have a non-indestructible land draw, and you just pay 1 mana, destroy a land, pay 1 mana, destroy a land. But it can also destroy other artifacts in the deck. That being said, sometimes they have their indestructible land draw, and Thermokarst and Acid Moss just kind of don't do anything. So again, I like cutting them as much as possible. We're going to be leaving in 1 Acid Moss just because it gives decent ramp spell. But we are basically siding out our land destruction for, frankly, land destruction that is better. And this is how I sideboard against Affinity. The third most popular deck is red-green Ponza. It is the mirror match. Against this deck, we are bringing in Flame Slash, mostly just kind of stop their big dumb idiots. It's also really good against Arbor Elf, stuff like that. And we are bringing out 2 Jewel Thief. This matchup is pretty much all about who can Thermokarst or Acid Moss the land with Utopia Spiral Wild Growth on it, and then kill their opponent faster. And so it's how I sideboard in the mirror match. The 5th most popular deck is the Boros Synthesizer deck. Against Boros Synthesizer, we are bringing in Deglamer. There's a lot of artifacts we don't mind taking out. We are bringing in Flame Slash to deal with their individual creatures. Gorilla Shaman, again, for these artifacts, and Cast Into the Fire, again, for these artifacts. Now, we're going to be shaving on some of our ramping effects. Jewel Thief is probably our worst ramping effect. We're going to be cutting some Wild Growth. It's not important that we do things super quick. I'm not worried about it. And they draw a ton of cards, so it's really hard to get them off of their land so they can't kill us. So we're going to be shaving some of our land destruction, again, leaving in Acid Moss because it's a decent ramp card. And so this is how I sideboard against Boros Synthesizer. The 5th most popular deck is the Mono Blue Fairies deck. Against Fairies, we are bringing in Flame Slash to kill their guys. We're bringing in Fiery Cannonade to kill their guys. And we're bringing in Cast Into the Fire to, again, instant speed, kill their guys. That being said, I am a fan of cutting Jewel Thief here. Again, it's probably the worst card in our main deck. I'm also a fan of shaving on our cards that don't contribute a lot to the board. I actually like cutting Acid Moss because using a 4-mana spell into something like a counter spell can be really rough. It's easier to get around Spell Starter Sprite, I guess. But I just like cutting Acid Moss here. And this is how I sideboard against Fairies. The 6th most popular deck is the Jeskai Ephemerate deck. Now, this is your classic Cleansing Wildfire deck. And frankly, I just like going a little bit deeper into the land destruction plan, bringing in 2 Deglamer to deal with those indestructible artifact lands, and take out 2 Jewel Thief. Now, we can't go super deep into this like artifact exiling thing because it only deals with the lands. And so we take out the worst card in our main deck for something that can be insane. And then I enjoy just like ramping and just like killing our opponents as fast as possible. So sideboard against the Jeskai Ephemerate deck. The 7th most popular deck is Caw-Gates. I used to grind with this deck. I liked it a lot. Against Caw-Gates, I really liked Deglamer. Whoa! I really liked Deglamer. Mostly because, oh my god, what is happening? It deals with Journey to Nowhere and the Modern Age, which happen to be pretty good against our deck. I'm also a fan of Cast Into the Fire, just to be able to instant speed deal with Squadron Hawk and Sacred Cat, maybe after they pump it or something like that. Really like Cast Into the Fire in that sense. For similar reasons, I'm a fan of Fiery Cannonade. Now, Jewel Thief is our cuttable in most matchups, so I enjoy cutting Jewel Thief here. I don't think ramping is hyper important. I think it's more about making sure our opponent can't do their thing, so I shave on Wild Growth, and then we're going to shave on Thermokarst. Whoops. There we go. We're going to shave on Thermokarst, and so Sideboard against Caw-Gates. The 8th most popular deck is the Dimir Control deck. And against Dimir Control, I do not sideboard. I like my main deck. There's nothing in our sideboard I care about bringing in against Dimir Control. So I am not boarding against them. Okay, moving on. The 9th most popular deck is mono blue, so not necessarily fairies, but utilizing cards like Spire Golem and things like that. Mostly focused around the ninjas. We are bringing in Fiery Cannonade to kill their guys, Cast on Spire to kill their guys, Flame Slash to kill their guys. We are bringing out Jewel Thief, and then just like the fairies deck, we're shaving on Acid Moss. And so sideboard against the mono blue tempo deck. And then the 10th most popular deck is a deck that's near and dear to my heart. I really enjoy the deck is Orzhov Ephemerate. Against Orzhov Ephemerate, we are bringing in Flame Slash to make sure we can always kill their homies. Same thing with Fiery Cannonade and Cast into the Fire. And we are bringing out Jewel Thief. And because very often our Arbor Elf gets killed here with like Cast Down and stuff like that, I like shaving a Wild Growth and shaving a Llanowar Visionary. And this is how I sideboard against Orzhov Ephemerate. So they have had a sideboard with Red Green Ponza against the top 10 most popular decks in Pauper. If you want to see more videos like this, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Let me know what you thought in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.